You're still watching Joy News Desk with me, Mapita CBD. Let's head to Kempinski now, where there's an ECOWAS Heads of State Summit, and Alton John Berber is there to give us an update. Please just give us a bit of what's happening there.
Right, so Maps, we are currently coming to you from the camp. Right, so the event itself, or the meeting, is starting in the next few minutes. President Akufo-Addo and some of the leaders who are participating in this extraordinary meeting of ECOWAS, they are in the holding room, and very soon they will move to the main conference hall here at the Kempinski Hotel for the meeting itself to start. This is a follow-up to last Friday's virtual meeting, at which ECOWAS condemned the military takeover in Burkina Faso, suspended Burkina Faso from all ECOWAS activities, and urged them to return the country back to constitutional rule. After which, a high-level delegation led by Ghana's foreign minister visited Burkina Faso, met with the interim president of Burkina Faso, urged him to respect the terms and conditions set forth by ECOWAS. Now, this meeting primarily will look at the outcome of that delegation meeting with the Burkina Faso military leader, and that will form the basis upon which they will discuss this matter. Remember that there's also an outstanding issue relating to Mali, and then also the failed coup attempt in Guinea-Bissau. So West Africa is increasingly becoming unstable. So today's meeting will look at the state of security in West Africa. We'll take a look at the report of the Sherry Ayokoboche's committee that went to Burkina Faso. And then after that, ECOWAS leaders will have to deliberate and come to a conclusion on what to do next. It doesn't appear to me that the military regime in Burkina Faso is ready to respect the directives by ECOWAS after that virtual meeting. They have been suspended. Would this meeting take a decision that will say that we are going to block all, borders, or countries that are borders, Burkina Faso are going to have their borders shut? Are they going to restrict movement of the military regime in Burkina Faso? These are some of the issues that we will be discussing here at the ECOWAS Summit. But let me quickly bring in a military, a security expert, Abim Sanim, who is here as an observer, if I get it right.
Exactly so. And I'm also here to engage a number of international media on the issue.
All right, so the matter in question is about the insecurity that we appear to be witnessing here in West Africa, and what ECOWAS can do to firm its position in the sub-region, because President Akufo-Addo was quite emphatic when he said that every country in West Africa appears to be under some kind of a threat because of what is happening in the region. What do you make of what is happening in West Africa, and what more can ECOWAS do to stamp its authority on the creeping insecurity that we are witnessing?
All right, so before ECOWAS will be able to do anything, we need to understand the context under which some of these coups is happening, okay? There are some deep-seated socio-economic and geopolitical deficits, which usually are country-specific. That creates that Molotov cocktail that sometimes explodes in our face. However, there are a number of issues that are common and cuts across, okay? The inability of some states to provide the two basic functions of the state. One, the provision of physical security, and of course, the provision of human security. That is a major issue that is pushing a lot of young people into uncertainty, that is creating disenchantment, and of course that is creating anger in a lot of these countries. So let's take Guinea for instance. Before the coup, there were protests. And unfortunately, a lot of these leaders feel that once they have the military behind them, the citizens can do whatever they like. They are not going to budge. Burkina Faso, there were mass protests as well. Last year in June, there was an attack that resulted in the deaths of over 160 civilians in a town called Sohan. And in November, in a town called Inata, there was also an attack on gendarmes, resulting in the deaths of dozens of them. So all of these is what is creating that fertile ground for coups to happen. And let me add that coups are contagious. And the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, couldn't have gotten it right. He said that we seem to have found ourselves in a coup epidemic. And Africa has never seen this since 1999. Last year, we had 4 successful coups. Unfortunately, ECOWAS is losing legitimacy. The sanctions regime is not working. They are not respected. Soldiers decide to take over the reins of power without recourse to what ECOWAS thinks about it. So I think it is important that ECOWAS rethinks on its templates. The usual statement issuing, meeting to suspend, sanctions, second sanctions. No, it's not working.
But again, let me ask this question. ECOWAS, just like AU or the UN, cannot directly be seen to be interfering in the internal politics of these countries. At best, what they can do is to institute sanctions, condemn the acts, and then find ways to return these countries to constitutional rule. So really, what more can they do beyond what you think that they are lacking?
Well, the sanctions regime, it goes without saying, doesn't affect the ruling class. It is the people. A lot of these countries are grappling with Al-Qaeda and ISIS-affiliated groups. So when we sanction, we are emboldening these groups, and this would pose an existential threat to the security of the wider West African sub-region, because the historical and cultural closeness of the countries makes it very common for a spillover effect to happen. So it is in the interest of ECOWAS to ensure there is peace and security in Mali and these other countries. Secondly, I think that there's what we call an ECOWAS protocol on good governance. Right. So in as much as we issue statements to condemn the militaries, we should also equally issue statements to condemn governments who manipulate their constitutions to extend their rule. As simple as that.
All right, so perhaps after whatever will come out of this meeting is out, then we can have a discussion as to whether they can bite or they can bring about the change that ECOWAS is seeking in this country. I want to thank you very much for joining us on JoyNews. So that's Habib Sani. He's a security expert. So Maps, very soon I'll take you to the main conference room where member states of ECOWAS are meeting for the program, for the meeting itself to start. Remember that Ghana shares border with Burkina Faso. So the insecurity in Burkina Faso will have an impact in the way things are done at our borders. Already, we have been told by the Ghana Refugee Board that over 1,500 Burkinabes have already fled into Ghana seeking asylum because of the instability in that country. Already, there are about 100,000 of them already seeking asylum in Ghana. If you look at the other West African countries that are experiencing this, clearly tells you that Ghana is not an island and everything must be done to deal with this insecurity that is being witnessed in the sub-region. President Akufo-Addo, being the chair of ECOWAS, has a lot of responsibilities to bring these matters to a close. How they are able to do it, the communique after this meeting will tell us how far ECOWAS is willing to bite to bring peace and stability in West Africa.
Colleague Alton John Berber giving us an update of that ECOWAS meeting that's about to start in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Remember, you can tune in onto or stay here on DSTV channel 421 and go to channel 144. We will be bringing you that event live.